Alright, here we go. Another match that we're going to play. This one I'm going to go post, and I'm going to just discuss some of the things that went wrong with this one. This one was a loss. I had to surrender this match because I made several bad decisions while trying to approach this defense. Now, first off, not a lot of opportunity for me to wait a turn because this is going to attack on turn one. Lynn has coverage from the lane that she's in there to cover those bottom three rows. She covers those very well. I don't have enough space to avoid that because the fortress, and there's just nowhere to put everyone on that side. And on the other side, Camilla has pretty much complete coverage over there. There's just nowhere that I can hide on that side to avoid Camilla. So have to go on the first turn, no way around it. Unless you want to try to tank this, which I don't have any tank teams this season because, I mean, who's tanking anything these days? It's kind of like a dead meme, I mean, it is possible, with Marth and stuff. Maybe if I were to bring back Erica, Brave Erica, what am I saying? Attuned Erica. She could probably do a great job here as well, but that's just not the meta that we're in currently. Tanking is not the style that we're using. We're not doing that. But there's just no space to avoid the enemy approach on turn one. We got to figure out a way up there right away, and I chose this team because it has the most action economy from melee range. Now, the reason that I didn't go with the Golveg team is because that team is pretty much hampered by cancer control, which is pretty much all over the place here because of the Corrin terrain. And also, Golveg does not win the matchup against Corrin, so there's no point in bringing her for that fight. Especially since she's the one that has the majority of the actions. I would have had to try to figure out a way to get Baldr to take out Armored Bro and then probably take out Corrin somehow, but that would have been too complicated and taken way too long to get through all of that. And then especially with the miracle effect from Fallen Maria in the back, it would have just been too problematic to get it all to work out. So that team was not on the table as an approach for this particular match. So we went with the melee team since we're guaranteed cancel one. We have a couple more actions here than we do on the range team. Overall, I feel like this team has just probably 2 more actions, I think, if used properly. And then the huge benefit is that this team can attack over the wall because of Lynn. So we're going to... Basically, the plan was to take advantage of that. That did not go well. I think it boils down to, again, the terrain. And also, the structures. The amount of I would have needed a turn to break some of these structures so that I could then properly initiate on the units that I wanted to attack into. There was just too much stuff in the spaces that I wanted to attack into, and then also the traps on top of that made it a bit problematic for me to maneuver my way through this particular match. And it's probably a really good tactic in terms of winning because of it becomes essentially. I'm thinking of Fog of War, but it's not that. But something similar to that forces you to move slow and tries to win by stalling you out, which is kind of what this is built around in a sense. But then it also has a good amount of offensive capability. So that was my primary concern, trying to figure out a way to get through all of these problematic areas on the map, and then try to take out the units that needed to be taken out. I would have settled for being able to take out Lynn and Camilla on turn 1, since the range on the rest of the units wouldn't have been that threatening. But then the key part of this defense, or one of the key parts of this defense, was Baldr in the back with the Micaiah ring, which would have allowed her to move, positional swap, and then warp, which would have been problematic, I think. I don't think I would have been able to attack and then also get away to a safe enough space to avoid Baldr. It just wasn't looking like something that would have been feasible.
All right.
With everything that I was considering, all of the actions that I was looking to take, it just wouldn't have been possible to escape Baldr to a sufficient degree. The other option would have been to try to tank Baldr with Lyn, but I wasn't too confident about that. So yeah, it just ended up not working out in the
This is challenging.
the way that I would have liked to probably go, which was to hit and run. The terrain,
Don't be seen.
the Corrin terrain was really the thing that was preventing me from being able to hit and run successfully because it has the canto
This is
control.
challenging.
Canto control, canto control, canto control. It's
Are there
still
bandits here?
very, very good. Unless you have Sakura, I guess.
All right.
But still, it's very, even then it's still very, because you still have to kind of consider it. It's still very, very good. I like that as a C skill, or now as a terrain effect, it is still very dominant in terms of how it forces you to play a specific way. We don't have a lot of skills that do that. I guess the save skills are kind of similar, where it forces you to attack into the armor unit, but canto control by itself, I mean, there's not a ton of ways to upgrade it. Well, I mean, probably there's ways that you could upgrade it. It's just how creative they want to be with it. We've already seen it with the Leon stopping the end action thing. Firm Canto Stomp, being able to stop that. But, I mean, there's more things that they could potentially do with it. But the base effect alone is still very, very good. Just being able to stop a unit from running away, still very valuable. So we get this far in. And I think somewhere in here is where I made a mistake. Because as you can see here, Hearthfelger is not able to attack because of Fur is in that spot. If Hearthfelger was able to attack, I would have then been able to go up further with Fur. Fur would have taken out Corrin, and then Fur would have been able to take out what's her name? Camilla. And then, Lyn could have done something else, and then it would have been fine. But I think I made a mistake somewhere in there that prevented Hearthfelger from going up and getting a KO when we actually needed that additional KO. Because what happens is Fur misses the Gale Force. She does not get Gale Force on the second initiation, and that pretty much ruins the entire strategy that I was attempting to do one-shots here, and it doesn't give us Gale Force, and that was really unfortunate because I really needed her to take out the Corrin so that I could then take out Camilla here. She's stuck, and she's gonna get hit by Corrin, and I have to then make a choice between Camilla or Corrin, and really I want to take out both of them, and I have no additional units to do it with. So GG's, this is a loss. You got me. Well-built defense in terms of being able to use the terrain to your advantage and slowing down the enemy team to this degree. The only option that I was thinking of is to use the Miasma from Baldr to kind of clear some of this terrain, but I didn't bring Baldr on this team because why? It's just, and then we can't really warp in without pass. So very tricky defense here to break through, and ultimately I had to surrender because mistakes were made, I guess, but overall I think this was pretty decently built. You got me. GG's. All right, here we go. Another match. Another day, rather. We're gonna keep going. Start off with this particular match here. Breaking structures is the play. Break some of these blockages in the way, and then go up and try to make a way to the defense here. Trap placements, having them all in that row. While it seems like a good overall, this map is just not the best. I probably want to lead with that. It's very open, and yes, your structures are there, but there's, only so much that you can do with these breakable structures, so unless you're going to put your fortress in one of those lanes, so you prevent the opposing team from going out, but then you expose your Yoon, whatever she's doing over there. But overall, I just don't like this map. I think that's probably what I should lead with. It was great. The Pathfinder meta, with Sigurd and co. Not,
right.
Man, Not. Do you remember Not? She was a defense mythic, and she had a very good role on defense. and we no longer
Name a
need her
target.
anymore. Pathfinder is pretty much another dead meme, which is insane because it was so good. And here we are, not even using it at all. I think at this point, it's probably going to become like some type of passive, like a C slot passive that gives out Pathfinder, because I mean, what's
Say
the
the
point
word.
of having it in your weapon these days? Or I think in Dagger's case, was it? Yeah, it's in her weapon, having it in her weapon. Yeah, crazy that we don't need Pathfinder anymore
Name a
because we can
target.
just attack
At your
from wherever we
command.
want to. I guess having the option of having plus
This
one
is
movement, or
challenging.
it's not really a plus one movement, it's a free movement space,
Got it.
is still viable because it just gets you further into the map. But I don't think that's going to solve anything with the core and terrain now. Really, you want something that will either overwrite, or you want something that will overwrite or just prevent her from putting down the terrain altogether, and that's False Start, which is still only
Sit
on
through.
Elamine. Wow.
Are there bandits here?
They really are playing favorites with Freyr and Elamine. Freyr, well, I guess his effect has been
You have
passed around
orders?
just a bit more, but Freyr, Elamine, still the only one with that false start thing, if I remember correctly, and I don't quite know who else they
there
would give that
bandits
to in
here?
terms of just who fits that archetype. Who would really benefit from having
Name a
such
target.
well, not benefit,
Say
but
the name a target.
you know how Micaiah has her armor effective damage and cav effective damage thing? Like, I can't think of another unit that would really be, someone that would fill Elmine's role in that capacity. We're going to pop our dual skills because, we can. Very valuable having the additional action. That is the most valuable
Won't lose.
duo button to have.
Are there bandits
And
here?
At your command.
it's Peony, dual Peony has it, and a lot of times I go back and forth between bringing her back onto a team, because it's just being able to dance again is just highly, highly valuable. Being able to move again is just
A
valuable
stealthy
overall. So it's just one of those dual skills that never ages poorly, or so far has not. Whereas a lot of the other ones are kind of like, especially the ones that give out stats, not valuable after a certain amount of time, which is interesting to see. But side note, sidetracked. What was I talking about
Don't
before?
rush in.
I completely forgot.
A stealthy?
Finish.
Trap placement, terrain, false start.
I request a match.
I forgot what I started off talking about. But yeah, we're going through this
Keep your
defense.
guard
Not a lot of serious opposition here. We're going to take our time to get these action. I think this special acceleration, or cooldown rather, for Freyr will also age well, specifically for her,
You have orders? Are there bandits here?
because Gale Force is a great playstyle for her. So I think it'll age well for her, but
You will
I don't know if
fall.
it'll work well on any other unit, because there are like the dual Asker, he gives special acceleration as well, but I mean,
Name a target.
he's not really being used anymore, so maybe he'll get a refine at some point and he'll hit harder and be
Show me what you
tankier.
can do.
I can see that happening. Maybe that'll bring back the relevancy of his button, but in this current meta, it's just he's just no fun to
going.
use, no good. I think would probably be the best way to put it. There was so much potential for Mythic Asker to be a good unit, and they just did not give him the goods. It's so
Say the
bizarre, and they had so many ults of Asker
We'll see it
to
through.
draw from in terms of inspiration and how to build him properly, or how to equip Mythic Asker with skills that would actually make him useful, and they just didn't do it. It is the most bizarre thing how they pick and choose, what to do with these refines and remixes. But in any case, Shez is coming up this month or next month, I believe. Shez
At your
and
command.
should be Medius, no? So hopefully they don't, hopefully they're not mean to female Shez.
Alright.
Hopefully they give her the goods. She does need a couple of things. Hopefully they give her arch rival as a special. I would love
I
that, but
request a match.
I don't know, man. Let's see what happens with that one. And it's also pretty hard to tell what they're going to do with Medius
Show me
aside
what
from
you can
just, I don't know, more damage reduction? I don't know. He's not that impressive of a unit. Anyways, let's play another match. GG's. Alright, here we go. Another match. We're going to begin this one. I was contemplating in terms of which... yeah, I'm trying to figure out which team to use here. I think this is the best one, but this match... this one ended up being a loss. I miscalculated how much space I would have available. Actually, I can cut most of this, which is what I'm going to do. Yeah, so basically, these are the units. Maybe I should have went with the other team. I don't know. I don't think it would have mattered, since Hanoka, I don't think she wins that matchup. Straight up, especially with Gale Force. I don't think Gale Force missed. I don't think she wins that matchup against Korn, so it wouldn't have worked out in my favor anyways, and then she probably would have just gotten stuck. But yeah, the problem here was Sanaki, this dual Sanaki has Sigurd Ring, and her range would have been a little bit more than I anticipated here. I didn't realize that it was the Sigurd Ring, which meant that I would have needed to go all in on turn 1 to try to take out her and Igrin, who also has plus, or just try to tank it, because these aren't the most powerful range nukes. But yeah, since I don't have any tank teams, going all in on turn 1 would have been the ultimate solution here. Which I did not do. I didn't realize that I didn't have as much space as I would have liked, and that's what led to the loss here, or my inability to actually play this particular map. I needed some time to break the structures and to set up so that I could go in for the following turn. Also, would have been solved if I had the safety fence. Lately I've been thinking of dropping the healing tower just to bring the safety fence, since healing isn't like the biggest concern. There's so many ways to get healing from skills and swaps these days, especially the Micaiah ring, that it kind of feels pointless to bring the healing tower. I'm just attached to it at this point. That's why it's always there. But lately I've been thinking of swapping to the fence, even though I don't really. I think if I remove it, I probably would just leave that space empty, to be honest. That's probably what would end up happening. I don't think I'd end up using the fence, because I win every match. It wouldn't be fair. So I don't know, just a thought that crossed my mind, that is crossing my mind these days. But yeah, as you can see, the ranges here, if you've forgotten, this Igrin does give out +1 movement to herself, infantry and armored, I believe. And then Sigurd Ring here means that the spaces where Lucina and Plumeria are will be threatened, and not enough space. I'm just short 1 space. If I had 1 more space, I would have been able to solve this particular puzzle, but I unfortunately did not, so this one was a loss. Alright, here we go with a actual match this time. We have been using this team fight. 388 is a score that I rarely get in light season, so I'm just, taking advantage of it while I can. I have 2 teams kind of the same that score 388 this season, so I'm trying to use them as best as possible, or as much as possible. And that's why you're seeing this particular team or the other one. Since, I usually don't score this high in light, unless I'm using Asker, which that will no longer happen because he is bad. So, we're gonna use this team as much as possible, because Hersfelger is currently my best high-scoring light mythic. So she's gonna be on a couple of teams if I can fit her in with Lynn. So that's what's going on here. Black Knight with the Erica ring, trying to figure out if Baldr can break through. Typically she does, but as you'll see me go through this one, you'll notice that this is a +10 Black Knight and a +10 Rhea, which, stats on armors do matter. So and also this is an interesting build, the distant counter seal instead of the distant counter that he comes with in his A slot. So that was an interesting choice. But yeah, you'll find that the stats do matter, or did end up mattering in the matchup. I was thinking going into it that Baldr should just fold Black Knight, but it didn't work out that way. But you'll see in a little bit what actually happened. Yeah, but aside from that, this was a pretty straightforward defense to go through. No cornering, thankfully, to make things annoying and slow. The only thing that slowed me down was trying to figure out which actions were the correct actions to take and in what order. Still haven't gotten too comfortable with that yet with this team. There's the Baldr versus plus 10 Black Knight, and somehow we're losing to Rhea with Hearthfulger there. That was peculiar to say the least, but we did end up rectifying this with some shenanigans, particularly just Plumeria being Plumeria and being awesome. Yeah, that was really enough. Yeah, and then from there we were able to clear the majority of the things here. I was thinking of leaving either enemy Baldr or Tree Man alive so that we could get the pots, because someone did remind me that I missed a pot in the first match this week because I was a little bit over exuberant. So I've been getting all of the pots thus far, and it puts me in a good position for tomorrow, which is the last day of the week, so that we can play a double instead of 2 singles. I hate playing single matches. So yeah, everything is good where that's concerned. SDS was this weekend, and every time I watch the content from the fake tubers, NAS, DTM and such, I just feel, man, I'd love to get back into it, but then I remember how much I hate Camilla, and I just decided to not do it. She's still the reason that I don't want to play Favor, and I'd love to get Edelgard and Sita back up to the max Favor ranks, but they just get folded by Camilla, so yeah, still the reason that I don't want to get into that game mode. But it is looking like a tremendous amount of fun to play SD in the current meta, because there's so much counterplay and new mechanics that they're exploring, new ways that the units are interacting, and it just looks so fun to, try to team build with everything that they have at their disposable or disposable currently. A thought that I had about Fire Emblem Shadows. I was like, is anyone actually still playing that game? Because they're still putting out content for it, and I'm wondering at what point. Well, probably this is a issue with
a blade must cut.
My scope or my circle just not being large enough, so I don't know if there's actually a community for that game that interacts and is actually enjoying the content there. But it just doesn't seem like it has a leg to stand on. And from the outside looking in, I'm wondering how long, maybe end of month, end of the year, before they actually shut it down. I was thinking, actually, if they could somehow find a way to link that game to Fae, it would actually increase its longevity, because if it was actually something that was within Fae, if they were to, let's say, remove tap battles and give us shadows instead in some, I don't know, linked account thing where you could just transition over without having to seasonal. Let's say it came out once every couple of, there we go, we beat the BK because of Plumeria, and also drive buffs from Peony. So let's say it was like a Pawns and Loki thing, or like a United Warfronts or something. We haven't gotten that one game mode in a very long time.
Where to now?
I forget what it's called, but it was the one that's actually good. The one that we have that is actually good. I forget what it's called, but it's been quite a while now that we haven't gotten it. I just realized that. But yeah, if Fire Emblem Shadows was actually in Fae, it would go so hard. It would be really, really good. Yeah, we would actually be playing it right now, but they made it into its own separate thing, self-contained, and it's just the gameplay for it would, I think it would work in Fae actually. It would make people play Fae a little bit more. It would be an alternative to Ether Raids and Arena and all that. I think it would be really good if they could somehow incorporate it into Fae, but I don't think they're going to do that. I don't know why they didn't do that. First off, that should have been the first. Maybe it was just too big and they decided to just not make it, decided to make it its own thing because it would have been too much to incorporate into Fae. But I think that's where they potentially have gone wrong with it, in my opinion at least. But yeah, just from the outside looking in, it's great to see that they're still releasing content for it, but I mean, I don't care. And I don't really see anyone who does. Which is, it feels like someone put their heart into something and then no one's actually paying attention to it, which is kind of sad. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm not in the community for it. Maybe there is a community for it and I just don't see it because, you know, it's kind of like with the Pokemon thing. I'm seeing a lot of people hating Pokemon, the new version, and I just don't understand because, like, I look at it and I'm like, this looks really good. Even the complaints that they're making about Mega Fraligator, and I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with this design. It looks logical in terms of transition. Color scheme's alright. I don't get it, but I don't know. You can't make everyone happy, I guess. It's just one of those things. Also, speaking of the new Pokemon, gym battles are like no longer a thing. Which, I mean, it's been trending in that direction for a while, ever since that one where they went back into the past. I forget what that one was called, but yeah, I kind of missed it. I'm a bit nostalgic for the. I'm not playing it. I'm watching people play Let's Plays of it because, I mean, who has time to play that many games these days? Unless you're a streamer. But yeah, I'm watching Let's Plays of it, and it looks fun. It looks like an interesting game. I love the world. I love how you can just move about and interact with the pretty much everything. But the gym battles not being there makes it not feel like Pokemon to me, in a sense. Like, what is the goal of it if you're not like collecting the badges and then doing the whole gotta catch them all, champion of the world type thing? Like, what is the point? But new formula, new design. You know, sometimes what's there for a really long time gets old and stale. Yeah, you try to find new ways to spice it up, just like a marriage, I guess you could say. But I don't know, that was a big tangent in any case.
You have orders?
Yeah, I just really think Shadows should have been in Fae. And I feel like that was maybe they will put it in a smaller capacity eventually if they ever like close it off. I don't know, I'm speaking death to a game that just came out. Maybe it's a bit unfair, but that's just my take on it. I feel like that would have been the better route to go. We're pretty much done here. This Ninja Lucina, my god, she's still very, very good. Yeah, still very, very good, man. I highly rate this unit. The dual button again is just what makes her that much better. The action economy is just so valuable, man. Yeah, I wish Baldr had gotten, but then it would have made her kind of too similar to Golveg in the sense that both of them would have had the extra action. So I can understand why they didn't want to do that. Who are we getting from the story? Worst case scenario, we get Heimdallr. Worst case scenario. Best case, we get Valley or the Old Man. I think both of them are, you know, manageable enough that it wouldn't make defense like a huge pain to play against. Valley being a ranged nuke with the miracle support, I think that would be pretty cool. I don't know. Let's see what happens. GG's. See you in the next one.